about Down to Earth, and here we are, you're number one on Netflix right now, worldwide. How is that for you?
It's an interesting thing in that, and I don't know if this is me specifically or this is everybody, but like, you really feel the misses and they hurt, but the successes, like, and again, you're like the perfect person to say this to. Like, I use this analogy with a lot of people, but it's always for me, it's never for them, but like, you'll get this. Like, there's this really interesting moment, and I remember even as a kid noticing it in Terminator 2, where the T-1000 and the Terminator are fighting in the factory, and they're fighting really like a really big, bad, crazy fight. And then the T-1000 traps Schwarzenegger's arm in that gear. And I just remember there's this great moment where as soon as the T-1000 realizes the Terminator's stuck, he immediately stops fighting and very calmly walks off. And like that's how I always feel when anything works, where it's like when it doesn't work, I could be depressed for months. Yeah. But like when it does work, it's like, all right, it worked. What's next? Like I don't think about it. Like I don't know if most people are like this or not, but yeah, it's like we have another show out right now that I wish was doing better, and I spend more time thinking about that, like exponentially more time thinking about why that other show isn't working than like, oh, we have the number one show on the planet for like almost 2 weeks. Like, it's weird, but that's me. I don't know if that's everybody, but that's me.
No, I think that makes sense. I think our failures are a chance for us to grow, and we take it more personally because it doesn't, what's the word I'm looking for? When we fail, it's now a time of self-reflection. When you fail, as opposed to when you succeed, it's kind of hard to comprehend. It's kind of hard to believe, and you think the rug is going to get pulled out from under you whenever you do something right.
Yeah. You should have been a psychiatrist.
I know, right? I mean, maybe one day I'll just play somebody like that. It'll be fine, or not. I don't know how great that would be of a part. But anyways, so yeah, Down to Earth. It's so funny because I like, you would think that with the show that it's like, oh yeah, that's definitely going to trend. It reminds me a little bit of like, have you heard of the other thing that's trending on Netflix right now, the 365 DNI?
Yes.
Like, it's so funny to look at the things in quarantine that people are watching right now. Like, you've got Tiger King, you've got Down to Earth, and you've got like 365 DNI, and they're all completely opposite from each other. So it's like, it's kind of hard to kind of pinpoint why certain things draw certain audience members.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other point that I would have made had I thought of it, which is, from my point of view, having produced a fair amount of things, you never know.
Yeah.
You literally never know. Like, you never know. We had a show on Animal Planet about 3 years ago. This show we did called, I don't know, something with Anthony Anderson. And to say it bombed would be offensive to real bombs. I mean, it bombed like hard. Wow. And I don't know why it bombed. I don't know. I don't get it. But so the fact that I had a feeling Efron would work for a variety of reasons. Like, Zach is Zach, and he's very hot, and I don't mean physically, but like, he has 42 million followers on Instagram, just Instagram, and people love him. But so that was part of it. So I knew people would show up. That had nothing to do with me. That was Zach. But I felt good that we got the mixture of, you've probably heard me say this before, but one of the things that we try to do with all of our shows is wrap the spinach in ice cream. And it's very hard to do that, by the way, very hard. It takes a lot of time and like the most gifted editors in the world to be able to do it. And I felt confident that we got that ratio right, where it's like you can learn stuff, but you don't feel like you're learning stuff, and it's fun and funny. And I got to give Zach credit. Like, I don't know how many episodes you've seen, but like, I mean, he really, when we shot it, it was like serious. Like everything was very serious. And like when the first cuts started coming in, they were all very serious. And Zach, you know, Zach was open to making it fun. And if you listen to the voiceover, a lot
the voiceover is great.
That was all done obviously later, but when we originally set out to do the show, we all imagined that voiceover would have been a lot more serious. But as we started putting the show together, it was clear the subject was serious, so the voiceover should be a little lighter. And Zach was, I mean, he was completely down with it.
Was this his original idea? I don't remember you telling me from like, what, 2 years ago when we first talked about this. Was this his original show concept and you came on board, or was it yours?
It was not mine at all. It was always Zach's. Like this all started with Zach.
This is the community fart bag.
This is the community fart bag.
Burns like the Olympic torch.
Yeah.
I think another reason to, like, this is becoming a staple, I feel like, with your company and what you produce that I have seen. I really enjoy the aspect of comedy interwoven with education. And if you're having fun and you're laughing, and the narrator, especially because this is what I loved about the Toys That Made Us, is that there was a tongue-in-cheek wink nod towards the audience of like, some of these things that you're going to learn is pretty crazy. And the people that we talk to sometimes can be pretty comical and crazy, and the situation can be bizarre.
I tell this to anyone, like editors, story producers, anything. It's like our goal is to take the topic and people absorb it without feeling like, it's not even that we're talking down to them. It's like, you just can't smash people with information. You have to like glide it in. That's what I always say is, I'll be giving notes on a cut and I'll be like, this is great. There's no mayonnaise.
Yeah.
And what that means is like, you can have the greatest BLT ever, the best bacon, the best lettuce, the best tomato, the best bread. Still gonna taste like shit without mayo.
Yeah.
So, and then cut to you and I getting all these DMs. I'm allergic to mayo and I still love BLTs.
What's going to come up next for you? Like, I know that we've talked about there might be another toys, there might be another movies. I think there is another movies, right? That made
we're definitely doing movies. That's public. Toys, I'm still in the stay tuned phase.
Stay tuned.
But you know, we have Behind the Attraction for Disney Plus. We have the second season of All the Way Black coming out in October or November.
Nice.
And yeah, movies that made us. And there's a couple other things I can't talk about yet. And as you know, also, we have a toy store near you.
Right.
You know, we put out a new episode about every 2 weeks.
What's next? Do you want to do like an episodic TV show, a big budget movie like Star Wars and all that stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my goal, and this will be when you know I'm starting to think about retirement, is to do our version. It's so funny. I said this the other day and it was completely mistaken. But what I'm trying to say is I want to make our own Star Wars.
Okay.
What I don't mean we're going to make a Star Wars movie. What I mean is we're going to create our own world, film it for a lot of money, and hope it does well. And God willing, I'll direct it. That's the beginning of me starting to teach at the University of Montana. Like once you know that process has begun, then 5 years later, you can visit me in Montana.
You're just going to retire in Montana? Why Montana? I got to know.
Have you been there?
No.
I mean, it's heaven.
I want to just thank you for talking to me, and we should Zoom more often and let me know what you're doing.
Yes, I would love that.
All right, cool. Bye.